Hi everyone, I'm Christina Rose from the German Film Institute in Frankfurt, and I'm working there as a data coordinator, which also includes managing the data that is incoming to EFG and also the to export the data to Europeana.
I'm Kerstin Herlt. I'm coordinator of the European Film Gateway. It's one of the projects we are coordinating at the DFF. I'm also vice chair of the Europeana Aggregators Forum, and we are happy to give you a brief overview today about what is EFG about. It's really a kind of, as the title says, it's EFG for beginners, but we will take, if you have further questions, we are happy to take them either during the presentation, because it's a pre-recorded presentation, so you can put your questions in the chat at any time, and we are happy to answer. Yes, I think we can now start the presentation. So it's a bit weird because I'm going to hear my voice on the screen.
Hello everyone, I'm Kerstin Herlt and I work as a European Projects Coordinator at the Deutsches Film Institute and Film Museum in Frankfurt. I'm a member of the EFG team, and together with my colleague Christina, we will show you how to deliver data to EFG, give you some tips which license to choose for your content, tell you how we enrich your data. EFG is a central access point to films and film-related materials that are otherwise dispersed across different online platforms and websites run by the film archives in Europe. We aggregate your metadata, not content, meaning that archives host their content themselves and only provide deep links to EFG that are used to display the content or link back to it on the institution's website. So each record links to an object. EFG features different kinds of collections ranging from literature on pre-cinema devices, magic lantern slides to Spanish silent films, Bulgarian pre-socialist cinema, German advertising films, Lithuanian or Italian newsreels, and much more. Film programs, set photos, film stills, posters, censorship documents, and so forth. The portal was built from 2008 to 2011 with initially 16 film archives. Today, 45 archives across Europe contribute to the European Film Gateway. In 2012, the EU funded a follow-up project that focused on the digitization and online publication of World War I films. As Europeana Aggregator, the European Film Gateway is partially financed by the EU, run by the ACE and coordinated by the Deutsches Film Institute. We publish approximately 160 different collections, and the World War I collection is the biggest thematic collection on EFG. As regards moving images, the majority is non-fiction film. This reflects what is preserved in Europe's film archives. EFG operates in a wider context, which is Europeana, the platform for Europe's cultural heritage. Thematic and domain aggregators, of which EFG is one, work transnationally and focus on content from a specific domain or subject matter. National aggregators such as FINA or Cultura Italia provide content from the national libraries, archives, museums to Europeana. Today, Europeana provides access to 58 million digital objects from around 5,000 institutions, so books, musical instruments, artworks, photographs, and more, with sophisticated search and filter tools, many themed collections, exhibitions, galleries, and blogs. In addition to aggregating data, Europeana and its aggregators work jointly on copyright policies and discussions around quality of content and data. Together, Europeana and its partners develop standards in all of those areas. EFG's role as an aggregator is to be in direct contact with you, the contributing archives, give advice and support, and clean and consolidate data before passing it on to Europeana. This is a schematic overview of the EFG infrastructure and the aggregation service. The data exports from the partner archives are ingested into the EFG information space, which is the database in the backend. After the transformation, a subset of the metadata is released to the front end of the European Film Gateway. And besides delivering datasets to Europeana, EFG also aggregated and transferred metadata to other projects such as the iMedia Cities project. The EFG metadata schema is also applied, at least in parts, in other film heritage projects such as the Visual History of the Holocaust, which is coordinated by the Austrian Film Museum.
The European Film Gateway, EFG for short, is a portal for researching digitized collections from archives and cinematics from across Europe. It comprises digitized films, as well as film-related contents such as film stills, posters, censorship cards, and other materials. Via the address europeanfilmgateway.eu, you can start browsing through the portal. You can start directly by searching for keywords, a person or a title, or you can search for a specific provider or collection. By clicking on Contributing Archives in the About section, you will see a list of all archives that provide access to digitized items on EFG, as well as a short description text and a link. This, for example, is one of our newest providers, the Bulgarian National Film Archive. You can also browse through specific collections that were created during the EFG 1914 project, which focused on contents relating to the First World War. For example, the World War I collection of the Cinémathèque Royale de Belgique. Let's search for a name. I enter Lubitsch and receive 8 video results, 55 images, and 7 text results. On the left side, there are several filter options for media type, provider, year, and language. If I click on this video provided by the Bundesarchiv in Germany, I see more information on the object provided. On the left side, I can click on the name of Ernst Lubitsch, the film director, which brings me back to a result list. In this case, the objects are the same as before, so all of them relate to Ernst Lubitsch, the director, and not to another person of the same name. You can play back videos or look at files like the censorship card directly in the portal. You can also click on the link below the object to see it on the provider's webpage. As mentioned earlier, the EFG portal and the underlying EFG metadata schema supports access to digitized audiovisual content and digitized 2D content like photos, posters, censorship cards, correspondences, etc. The EFG metadata model was designed in large parts based on EN 15907, also called Cinematographic Work Standard, as well as encoded archival context and Europeana semantic elements. It is built of 8 entities: the AV creation and AV manifestation, the non-AV creation and non-AV manifestation, the item, as well as agents, which are persons and corporate bodies, events and collections, which can have relations to the other entities.
On the website efgproject.eu, you can gain access to various documents that provide further information, like the textual and tabular overview of the schema, as well as the XSD file and a vocabulary list for fields that require the usage of controlled vocabularies. In the tabular overview, you can browse through all the elements in the EFG schema, separated by entities, and see directly which of them are mandatory and which of them will be displayed in the EFG portal. Those are highlighted in blue. A bit further below, you can find an extensive handbook with up-to-date info for data providers. It also outlines mandatory elements that must always be provided, as well as examples. There are several ways to provide your data and digital collections to EFG. If you have your own website showcasing your digital objects and also have an OAI interface or can export your object metadata in an XML format, you can provide us with the data and the links to the objects, and we will map it to the EFG schema. If you have your own website showcasing your digital objects, but have no means to export your data in an XML format, we can provide you with a standardized CSV sheet to enter your metadata and links to the objects. If you want to provide digital video files, but have no own website, we can offer to host smaller video collections on our EFG Vimeo account for you. For the metadata, you can choose to provide it via XML if possible, or via our CSV sheet. We deliver the datasets to Europeana by using our EDM OAI interface, so all the necessary mapping is done by us. We also enrich some of the elements automatically with terms from linked open data vocabularies. Furthermore, we participate in projects like Europeana XX, where tools for semantic enrichment and automatic translations are developed and tested.
The Europeana Publishing Framework provides some useful guidance if you have questions around data quality. You can download it from the Europeana Pro website, but we'll also put some useful links at the end of this presentation. Content quality is expressed in tiers and ranges from tier 1 to tier 4, from low to high quality. It's applied to images, texts, and videos. This example shows you the different tier criteria for videos. Tier 1. As you can see, there is no minimum requirement for the video, but for the thumbnail, it's around 400 pixels. However, we recommend a somewhat higher resolution, otherwise the image is a bit blurry. A shown at link means that you don't have to provide a direct link to the object the video plays on your website or platform. Tier 2 requires a minimum resolution for the video, which is approximately 480 pixels high, and a direct link to the object. Tier 3 and Tier 4 content requires, apart from image quality, a semi-open or open license. If your content is Tier 3, you will allow for some kind of reuse, for example, for education or other non-commercial purposes. Tier 4 content allows for unlimited reuse. This is the case, for example, if the content is public domain. So which rights labels are available? In EFG and Europeana, we use standardized rights information that are both machine and human readable. You can choose either from rightstatements.org, so that's what you can see here on the slide, or in case you are the rights holder, you can also choose a Creative Commons license. It would exceed the purpose of today's session, but if you want to know more about how to apply a Creative Commons license, I'm happy to organize a webinar or a meeting for you. So let's have a look at the right statements from rightstatements.org. You want to choose the public domain label because your content is no longer copyright protected. All relevant authors are dead more than 70 years ago. Public domain content can be used by everyone for all kinds of purposes. No copyright, non-commercial use only. You can choose this statement if copyright for your film has expired, but you don't want it to be reused in a commercial context. Because, for example, you want to exploit them commercially yourself, make a DVD, or because you have an agreement with the rights holder to not publish the content as public domain content. No copyright, other known legal restrictions. This is something which is rarely applied. Sometimes there are legal provisions in your national legislation that doesn't allow that you make public domain content available without restrictions. In copyright, educational use permitted. For example, you haven't really cleared the rights for, let's say, a collection of newsreels from the 1918s. It's likely to be public domain, but you're not 100% sure. Since it's about the First World War and teachers want to include these films, for example, in their curricula, you might want to give permission. The DFF holds the rights to the Inselfilm collection, which is an important and comprehensive collection of advertising films. We decided to limit reuse to research and education. What if you don't know the copyright status? You don't have the resources to clear the rights, so you put in copyright unknown in the rights field. In this case, Christina would map that into in copyright because the information copyright unknown is not supported. So that's why we encourage you to use the right statements and the Creative Commons licenses, but it's not a must. We do that anyway when we map your data and pass them over to Europeana. Or you have searched for the rights holder, but you could not find them. Then you can use the in copyright EU orphan work label, as you can see here in this example. Be aware that you have to register the work in the orphan works database of the European Commission first. In this case, also, if you have problems or you do not know much about how to register a work in this database, please get in touch with me. What are the benefits of working also with Europeana? Your films, images, posters are in good companion and connected to films, images, text from other 5,000 European institutions. You can also join one or several of the Europeana expert communities on technical matters or copyright, education, research, and many more. These communities regularly organize webinars, conferences, and trainings, publish annual work plans, and keep you up to date on latest developments in the respective field. Together with other domain and thematic aggregators, we are currently collaborating on a project called Europeana XX, which is about the game changers of the 20th century. So important inventions, events, personalities, and social movements are highlighted in blogs, galleries, and virtual exhibitions on the Europeana website. Here is a list of useful links. Thank you for watching and listening. We are looking forward to meeting you at the Aggregators Fair next week.
Yeah, this was a quick presentation of, let's say, the basic work we are doing when we work with your data and when we make your data, prepare your data for passing them on to Europeana. But I would like to give of course, we will also make the links available because you cannot download it here from the presentation. We can share that with you later on. But yes, please, I would like to open the floor, and if there are any questions, we're happy to take them. Maybe from the new or interested ACE members who I see a hand, Margaret, please.
Yes. Thanks for the presentation. I'm really a big fan of EFG, and I always really like to browse through your content. I was wondering how you visualize the relations between the objects. You showed the data model, but I was not sure if there's really a visualization which shows, because for us or for our researchers, it's very important for an audiovisual film that they also have like the text and maybe the production Akten, whatever is in English, and all the documents around an audiovisual object. So you prepared your data with linked open data. So how is there a plan to visualize this somehow, all these connections?
Christina, I think this is a question you should take.
Yes. So for the EFG portal or the metadata schema, you have the opportunity to, for example, if you provide a text and you know that it is a censorship card or production material for this specific film, you can you have the AV creation entity where you can put in the filmographic data, and then you have the non-AV creation entity, which is your text, and you can have a relation. So in the end, in our backend, it's in the XML file for the record, for the text. You have in the end a related AV creation, and there you can have the link back to this filmographic metadata and the AV creation entity. And in the portal, it looks, I would have to look for an example, but it's, for example, for images, you can see on the right set, it's is image off, and then you can see the film title. And with regards to the enrichment of linked data, we currently do this, for example, for production countries for films, where we automatically enrich them geonames when we give them to Europeana, or for example for the form, like a documentary or feature film or newsreel. So we have some contextualizing metadata that we enrich with LOD vocabularies, but not yet for the films themselves. So you mean like you would have a related agent, and then you have the entity page for the agent. We don't have that for film works or something like that. Does this answer your question?
Yeah, more or less. I just wanted, because we work on things like this, and I was thinking maybe we could, share experiences, how the relations could be visualized in a good way, so that the researchers can really work with it, because it's something different if you just write, okay, this is a part of this, or this is part of this. This is more a technical way to look at things. It's not really a user experience friendly way of looking at things. And as we have the same problem, I was thinking maybe you have a solution, but apparently we both have to work on this.
Yeah. So we don't have a like sort of linked data solution, because our metadata schema is not yet RDF compliant. But in the metadata schema model of EFG itself, the relation between
it's not about if this is the basis, the linked open data, of course. Couldn't you, from the Europeana XX project, because you're using all those tools, you could kind of bring back the enriched data and then use it in the EFG portal?
Yes, we are. This is something we are on top of, but this is also the enrichments are also, for example, for subjects or persons, or entities within description texts. So it would be more of the contextualizing metadata and not the AV creations, for example, themselves. Yeah.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Ramon, maybe you want to ask the question again that you had before we start the presentation.
You're still muted.
Yeah. We cannot hear you.
You have to turn on your microphone.
Well, many questions, I guess. So it's a question to start to try to put on the files. But I saw the first EFG purpose was the First World War. Is it films? Project?
No, you mean the themes, the thematic collection?
Yes.
No, this only one. When we started to build the portal, we accepted any sort of content from the film archives, but then in 2012 we got funding from the Commission, or co-funding from the Commission, to digitize films about the First World War, and this has been done with 21 archives. I think Lichtspiel was involved as well, and that's why we have this very comprehensive collection of films, but we have no restrictions on collections. We publish what you collect, so what you preserve and what you collect and what you would like to make available. There's no
no limits, years, terms, subjects, or anything. And length, the duration, the time, no, that. Okay. So okay, we can start with a little pieces we have. So
we are looking forward to that, Ramon. And if you have, of course, more detailed questions, you will get in touch with Christina first, I think, or Julia, and then they will make the data delivery very easy.
Yes.
One of the main services we provide for our partners, that the threshold is very low. Correct?
Okay, thank you. Thanks.
Yeah, for me it was really useful to listen to your presentation, and thank you for taking the time to record it and review it so many times. Because as working at Europeana, we work with the end results of what you produce, and sometimes it's the work that you do yourself, it's not directly visible. It's it seems really, really good. And the fact that you have this handbook, I'm now into the documentation zone, and I'm really appreciative of a really good instructive handbook for people. So I hope you will you will find new collaborations through this fair.
Hope so. David, are you considering to providing new content to the European Film Gateway, if I may ask?
And we are planning to put some material on European Film Gateway. Our plan is to present the oldest Slovenian film heritage. These are some films that were created in 1905. It goes for a quite similar visual story. People coming from the mass, and the other is the one small town in Slovenia. It's called Ljutomer, where Karl Grossman, the creator of this film, lived. This would be the first. This is planned to put it online in the first row.
Okay, this is the true films you would like to start with, correct?
Yeah.
Great. We are looking forward to that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Really appreciate it. It's always nice to see early cinema content.
And, what is always what we always like as well is a good description of what is to be seen on the film, because sometimes it's difficult for people,
to understand what's happening
context
there.
Around.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah. And in any case, you can always get in touch with us.
Definitely. We'll have to.
So we have then 2 new providers. That's great. Yeah. I just wanted to ask David whether he would like to provide new data and content to Europeana. David.
Yes, we do. Indeed, we have many films that are going to be uploaded, but there is discussion, at least for Europeana, to provide directly by memory by the memo base, and not passing through EFG. But this is an open discussion. But of course, we will provide to EFG as well.
Okay, so but then, yeah, you have another route, which is via Memorial.
Yeah.
Okay, that's also very good news. You have also very nice content.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining this session, and yes, hope to see you, many of you again. Bye.